Jason, you gonna join us sometime today?
We're here, Joe.
I'm going to welcome everybody to the April 5th, 2022 meeting. It's 6:02. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If I could get approval of the agenda at this time.
So moved, Chairman.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Mr. Graham, you going to lead us start off tonight? Everybody stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we come together tonight, we give you thanks for the good gifts you give us. We ask for your guidance in our lives, and we pray that your love will live amongst us forever. Dear Lord, please watch over us the next few days as this adverse weather is approaching. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. Sorry about that, guys. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Before we start our zoning portion of our meeting tonight, if anybody's here in opposition to this request, you will get an opportunity to speak. Mr. Petrowski.
Chairman, our first item this evening is a request by Randall Posey. It's to a conditional use to allow a second dwelling on a property smaller than 10 acres in size. This is at 303 Oak Valley Drive. He has 5.4 acres there. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
Okay. Mr. Posey, are you here tonight? You'd like to speak? Well, the board's got any questions for you?
Anybody got any questions?
Any question for Mr. Posey? No. None? All right. Well, thank you. Anybody here?
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Anybody here tonight oppose this request? No one? What's the will of the board?
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Chairman, our second item is a request by Stephen Handley. This is a conditional use to allow a haunted house. This was at the property located at 1035 Monticello Highway. Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
Mr. Hanley? You trying to scare us up?
Got any questions?
You trying to scare us off out here?
No, huh? I want you to come down there and enjoy yourself.
I got you. Any questions for Mr. Hanley? None? Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? None? What's the board's wishes?
Glad to see it being used, Chairman. Motion to approve.
Second.
Second? All right. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to coming by and seeing the haunted house. Thank you, Tim. We move on to consent agenda and approval for minutes. We had the third Tuesday of March 15th, also executive session. If y'all had an opportunity to review the minutes, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Visitor tonight, Ms. Van Horn, Hidden Lake Subdivision. Hidden Hills Subdivision, excuse me. Yeah, Hidden Hill. I had to take a second take on it.
Okay, so the reason I'm here is in our neighborhood, we had a couple about July or August of last year moved a utility building onto the property across the street. Mr. Petrowski's aware of this. I've called planning and zoning multiple times. The building has, like I said, been there since about July or August. When they first moved the building there, we thought maybe they were just moving the building and then they were going to move a house or mobile home or whatever. Well, the building's still there. There's no mobile home. So in between now and then, initially there was an older gentleman and an older woman staying there. Well, about a month after they moved in, it was, like I said, hot. Tommy come home from work one day, fire trucks, ambulance, everybody was there. The man had a heart attack and died. So I called the Jones County Sheriff's Office the next morning and said, I need somebody to go out there and do a wellness check. I want to make sure these people are okay. I don't want this woman to die and then it be on me because I didn't report it. So a deputy went out, he called me back, and he said, they've got a water hose that they run water from. They have a generator is how they're running electricity, and they're living in this building. And when I say they, so the man died. Well, then another younger guy showed up, but evidently I don't know who he is. The guy that owns the property is, I forget what his name is. Do you remember?
No, I'm not sure.
But anyway, he's not the one that's there most of the time. There's another guy and then this lady. Edmonds. And so I know that they have sent multiple letters, and then a month later, another letter, a month later, another letter, 2 weeks later, another letter, and they're still there. I've taken pictures and they tell them that they're not living there, but I've taken pictures at 10 o'clock at night. I've taken pictures at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the car is there. They have a glass that's out of the window that they keep a piece of plastic over. The wind blows the plastic in our yard. We have to go and pick up all the trash. The other day, my daughter left and took a picture of the guy in the yard urinating with my grandchildren in the car with her. I mean, I just don't want to look at this. When we first moved there, they rezoned the area, and the covenant said that they would grandfather the single-wide trailers that were in there at the time, but after that, you had to have a double wide, it had to be certain dimensions, it had to have a porch, it had to be underpinned, and I guess they did this all with the intent of doing it, but they haven't done anything. And Mr. Petrowski said they don't enforce the covenants, so they can't make these people leave. I don't know what the next step would be. One day, they burn stuff over there about 2 to 3 times a week. One day they were burning stuff, so I picked up the phone, because I know in Jones County you have to have a burn permit. I called to get a burn permit, and it says there are no permits allowed today, because of the weather. And so I called the fire department. So the fire department's been out there, the Jones County deputies have been out there multiple times. It devalues our house. We've done a lot of work on our house, and I just don't want to have to look at that every day, and if I go to sell my house is worth half of what it is.
Let me jump in, and I don't want you to go over your 3
No,
minute
that's
time
fine.
frame and not give you a chance to address this. So this is not an authorized structure. Mr. Petrowski has actively been addressing this. It is a violation of at least 3 different sections of our CLDR, and so he has attempted through letters and other forms to contact and notify the owner, the same with the occupant, to have the structure removed. It has just not been successful. So at this point, the next step is to issue a summons to take them into court. So it is actively being worked on, and that is the next step.
Okay.
So he's sort of gone through his chain of all the things,
Right.
his remedies and options to try to address the problem. They've just not been successful. So now they'll be issued a summons to go into court.
Okay.
And let Judge Patterson deal with it.
Okay, and do we have a time frame?
I don't know the court calendar right off the top of my head, and the
Okay.
summons has not been sent out, but it will be in the next, I would think the court date would be in the next probably 45 days.
Okay. Will we get an update, or who can we call with an update?
You
In
can-
6 months from now, if that is still there?
I would not anticipate, I'm not the judge.
I would
but
hope
I would
not, but I'm telling
anticipate
ya.
the judge allowing this unauthorized structure to remain there for 6 months. But you can certainly call back probably within the next 10 days or so to Mr. Petrowski's office and at least get an update on when the court date is, so you'll know when to check back for
Okay.
whatever the judge is ruling
Okay, great.
is. Okay?
All right.
Hey,
Well,
thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you. We'll move to new business tonight if we can. Resolution authorizing the execution of intergovernmental contract with the PFA and the security payment. Mr. Pennell and Truitt. Sorry? Tripp, excuse me. I'm got some issues right. Excuse me, I'm having some issues reading here lately.
Good evening. I'm John Pennell and acting as bond counsel to the county and appreciate being back in front of y'all. The Public Facilities Authority met at 5:30 tonight and approved a bond resolution authorizing $15,735,000 worth of bonds for water and sewer improvements for the county. We need for the county to approve a resolution that ratifies the action of the authority and also authorizes an intergovernmental contract with the authority to help secure the repayment of the bonds. Y'all will remember the commissioners did something similar back in the fall with the Public Facilities Authority, refinancing some debt. This is actually a new offering, 30-year bonds. I'll let Andrew talk about the details of the bond sale that happened today, but all in all, you're borrowing $15 million for 3.5% over 30 years. So I think a really good rate, a really good opportunity for the county to get these improvements made. Assuming y'all approve the the resolution tonight, which ratifies the bond resolution, we do have to go through a bond validation process. Ms. Brody is handling that. We will get that done in the next 30 days, and then the closing for the bonds is scheduled for May the 3rd. So at that point, the county will have access to those funds and can start construction on the water and sewer improvements. But this is a project I think we've been working on for over 2 years with the county, and glad to finally see it come to fruition. With that, I'll yield to Andrew unless y'all have any questions for me.
Sure, nice to be with you guys. Andrew Tritt with Stiefel Nicholas. We handled the bond sale today. As John mentioned, this has been something a long time coming, 2 years now, I think. This is a cost-effective way to borrow money through a public facilities authority. It did a few things. It allows us to use multiple sources of revenue for the repayment of this debt. Some sales tax proceeds, water sewer revenues, and other legally available funds. Through the course of this endeavor, we secured a bond rating from Moody's Investor Service of AA3. This is a AA3 investment grade bond. After the AA category, it goes AAA, which is what the state is rated. This debt provides for level amortization. We've wrapped this around 3 GFA loans that the county already has, so your payments are level. It helps with the management of water, sewer rates, et cetera. The market was a good day today. This is rather backloaded debt just because we're wrapping it around these 3 other loans. The bond yield is 3.5%. If you were to go look, I checked at the end of last week. If you were to go get a home mortgage, it was about 4.85% last week. Rates have gone up a little bit since then. This is tax exempt. Why the rates are a little bit lower than that, but for all intents and purposes, this is sort of like a mortgage of the county. With that, I'll entertain any sort of questions before you. At closing, we'll deposit $15.5 million in the bank for you guys to start these projects right away as soon as you're ready to spend it. That money can earn interest to offset the borrowing rate that you've borrowed at, and what we would need from you guys tonight is to accept the bond resolution as presented, but more than happy to answer any sort of questions you might have.
Any questions from the board?
No questions. No questions, Chairman. Thanks to John and Andrew for all their work on it. But I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the AA3 bond rating. That's awesome for a county our size and just under the state rate level. And I think that a lot of that is attributed to Levita and our staff here that keeps our finances in impeccable order. That's how we get those ratings for the things that we do. So just want to make sure we recognize them for that.
I'll entertain a motion at this time if I can.
I can't make it quick enough, Chairman. Motion to approve the, authorize the intergovernmental contract under PFA to secure payment for the bonds.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, thank you. All right. If the board will, water and sewer rates, Jason asked us to postpone it to the next meeting if we could.
Is there
I get-
anything y'all need signed?
Any some?
Just making sure that we were finished with that before we
You
moved
gave
on too
everything you
quickly.
need? Yes, sir. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. I think we got y'all signed too, don't we?
Yes, sir. We're all signed up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could get a motion to postpone for the water and sewer rates till next meeting.
Motion to postpone, Chairman.
And get a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. All right, thank you. Resolution to amend financial policies, Mr. Resner.
Mr. Chairman, as we work through the bond rating process, one thing that was suggested to us was that we add a section to our financial policies that stated who would be responsible for the continuing disclosures that are required when you do a bond issue like this. And so what you have before you tonight is just a resolution there that would add a paragraph to our financial policies stating that the finance director is the official who is charged with meeting those continuing disclosure obligations. And so for the purposes of this bond, we've got a firm that'll help us with that, but officially, the finance director would be the one charged with meeting those obligations. So I would just ask for a motion to approve that resolution.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Resner? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to amend the financial policy, resolution to amend the financial policies.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bone. Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, we move on to cleanup, community cleanup. Ms. Bilderback was sick. You got, any of the commissioners got any smack they want to talk before we get this thing started?
Yes, I'd like to speak.
Ladies first, Chairman.
Ladies first.
I'm just telling District 1 they're going down this year. I got my teams lined up. And let's see who brings in the most trash.
Haul the most trash or talk the most trash?
She's
That's
won that
right.
already.
Commissioner Martin, any input?
You know, I know we have a lot of trash. We're going to put our best efforts forward to get it done. And, hey, Wendy, if you can haul the most trash, we can stop Sam from trash talking us.
Good deal.
That's right.
Commissioner Wood?
I hope the community comes out and helps that day. And it's a 365-day-a-year event to keep your community clean.
That's right. All right, you got some revenge or trash talking to catch up on.
Oh, no, Chairman, actions speak much louder than words, so I don't need to say anything. But I will say this. I will say that the community benefits from everybody, so all this trash talking and back and forth with the commissioners hopefully gets more attention, so more people will get out and help us, and because it's all our community and we need to keep it. We obviously can't control those that want to throw stuff out the window. We need to make sure we can pick it up. So
All right,
Since
well,
Vicky's not here, do you want to give out the date and how they would
Yep.
sign up, information?
So there is sign-ups all over social media. We have any flyers here? They're flyers with a QR code on them. It's on our website. It is April 23rd, and so you can pick up in your area. You can get on a team. You can have a team captain. Sign up on the list so that you can get your T-shirt, bags, bottles of water if you need them, and then we will have the cleanup in each district, and we'll meet back at lunchtime at Carroll's Park in front of the Knox Center for the weigh-in for the trophy to give back to District 1, and so we'll have a lunch there at the. Also, we'll have recycling. Any kind of electronics devices, bring them up there. Any kind of shredding, we'll have shredders on site. Tire disposals, Tiffany's gotten us a grant for tire amnesty, so bring your tires up to get rid of those, and all your trash.
Commissioner, I think Tiffany's got something to add.
Just to let y'all know, the tire section will be down at Public Works because we have a company bringing an 18-wheeler and it has to be locked up at night. So you're welcome to bring anything else to Carroll's Park, but the tires will be disposed of down at Public Works off of Comes Road.
Okay. All right. And that's all I got, Chairman.
That's great. All right, we'll move on. Data wiring in the government center. Mr. Well?
Hey, how y'all doing? I was just recently made aware that we have some extra SPOS funds available for building improvements. So I had talked to Jason about potentially getting this building rewired with up-to-date Cat 6 cabling for our computers and servers. Right now, as it stands, all the departments have these little mini, small to medium-sized switches that make it difficult to troubleshoot problems, errors, and that kind of thing. And so what I would like to do was get every department home run back to a central office over where my servers are located. It's a refrigerated or a air-conditioned room. So it's already kind of designed, ready to go for this. And I'm just want to ask your permission to maybe go out and pull some quotes.
Any comments or questions for?
I'd recommend him to get quotes on it so we can bring it back and put it on our priority list.
Right. You get with Jason, because we're starting our priority list, so that we can put it on the list.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, just one additional point on the SPOS. So there's in the building category, there's money left in the original allocation there that Will and I talked about as a possibility for that. So you don't necessarily have to factor it into your numbers for those excess funds. It could come out of what's still sitting there in the original allocation.
All right.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Risner, we've got wages, pay scale, and open positions.
So I'll kind of start and introduce the topic and then turn it over to Shannon for any thoughts she might have. But, like a lot of places right now, we've got issues with attracting employees and retaining employees. And, a lot of different factors go into that. But we're just sort of put in a position where we feel like we need to do something to be able to compete. And so I just thought tonight maybe we could start having a conversation and get thoughts from the board on what types of things you might be open to help us on both fronts. I mean, we've got a substantial number of open positions in a lot of different departments. And so, we need help attracting people to those open spots and hanging on to the ones we've got. And so, I think maybe a two-pronged approach, something like I don't know if you want to consider a sign-on bonus type thing, and that I'm still thinking through different ideas. So this is not a formal recommendation to you, but just throwing out things to think about. I don't know if a sign-on bonus might help with getting people in the door, but I think you've got to address the staff we've got too, and maybe look at something with the pay scale to keep them. So we're having issues like a lot of businesses, and we've seen all sorts of businesses increase minimum wages to $15 an hour and that type of thing. I'm not recommending that we do that, but I mean that's what we're competing with. So anyway, I just throw that out there as kind of a conversation starter. And Shannon, any thoughts you have on?
I know we are just losing employees, 3 from the water department here within the past couple of weeks. We're losing Parks and Rec, which we're down low on the employees anyways. I know the Sheriff's Department struggling with employees. Public Works, we haven't been able to hire employees for Public Works for over a year now. So I'm worried about the water department, what's going on over there. Two of the employees are going to the same company that we cannot compete with. So something has to be done. I don't know. We need to start contracting work out. I don't know.
I think we look at our health insurance and see, you know, we got this HRA, right? Okay, keep you straight on the initials. Look into it, see what possibilities we've got there to utilize, maybe, you know, maybe it be lower deductibles. I've heard said we've got, when it comes to the family plan, it's quite costly for the employee to be put on the family plan. Maybe that's something we need to look at too, of ways to from a better benefit package anyhow.
I agree. I would like to see some of the exit interviews. I know I have information on the health plan is one reason we're losing certain employees to other agencies or other, you know, opportunities, and the money wasn't the issue, it's the health insurance. So we need to really look deeply into the health insurance and get it where it's as good, if not better, than other competing, you know, entities outside Jones County. And some of the work, you may have to bring in some contractors to get caught up, because I know Public Works, for instance, we're short-staffed, and, you know, I've got right-of-ways that haven't been, you know, certain areas of right-of-ways have grown up to the point I've got 8-inch trees in areas that 5, 6, 8 years ago didn't have them. So it's, we're not keeping up with things, and so we're going to have to look at all avenues.
Mr. Kitchens, any?
I agree with you, Chairman, and with John on the insurance side of it. Look at the HRA and see how we can help maybe with the deductible, because I think that's the biggest out-of-pocket expense for people that do use the insurance. Unfortunately, with all local governments, you know, most of them are through ACCG if they're not self-funded, so we all basically have the same plan. It's just how much is the employee and how much is the employer going to pay of it. And I think if we look at us setting aside some to help the employee portion of it, benefits them straight out of their pocket. So I do think that's help. The other thing I'll say is 2 years ago we had the salary study done, and we committed to sticking to that salary study, so we didn't get out of whack and arbitrarily increase salaries or certain positions or any of that, and I think we've stuck to it very well. Unfortunately, COVID has caused a lot of people around us to change their pay scales. Maybe we need to get the company we looked at and see if there's what it would take to just look at our starting salary and our medium means of salary lines to see if we're still in line with other communities our size. Shannon's right. We can't compete with you know, people that sell a product. So it's just not going to do it. We incentive plans, you know, sign-on bonuses, you know, as long as there's a stipulation of, you know, maybe a year or 2 years that you have to stay, you know, so we don't have people jumping on board for the sign-on bonus and then jumping off board for the $2 more an hour or $1 an hour. I think a lot of it is a product of our times. We've got a lot of people nowadays that I won't say millennials or anything like that, but some people feel like they should start on that next to the top rung of the ladder from day one, and they don't want to stay there 30 years. They want to get their 401k today and leave tomorrow, and it just doesn't work that way in local government. You gotta figure out a way to do it.
Commissioner Bone, you got any
Yeah.
comment?
I truly think that we do need to look at that pay scale. You know, when we've got convenience stores and retail stores that are starting out people at $15 an hour, and we've got people that work in our water department that are out there to try to keep water and sewage going for us that are starting out at $15 an hour. There's something wrong with this picture. So I definitely think that we need to look at that salary scale again.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Martin?
Well, the market has changed, and we know to be competitive, we have to offer something that's attractive, and it used to be the benefits. A couple of years ago, we looked at the health care, and we looked at adding more from the county side to reduce the employee out-of-pocket, and I'd like, Shannon, Jason to take a look at that, come back with, some proposals that will give us, a clear indication of how we can best fund it to reduce that out-of-pocket expense. I agree with John. We do need to look at exit interviews. It's not just money why people are leaving. We know we've had some department chair changes, and sometimes, when good leadership comes in, poor employees leave out. And I'm not saying that is the case, but sometimes that happens. So I like to look at all of those factors and put together a comprehensive strategy to fix it. And of course, our pay scale may have been out of date when we put it in, but it brought us closer to the market. And to concur with the other commissioners, we may need to do a review, and do what we need to do. But I would also do it internally. Let's ask our employees, current employees, what else can we do to enhance their work experience, and there are other things that are outside of cash that can make their work-life balance more beneficial than just throwing money at it.
Okay. Captain Douglas, you said you had a comp?
Stand here or
Just come on up, that way we got you recorded.
Just real briefly while I'm here, our department, I had one leave today, and it's simply an issue of a Monday through Friday and more money. Law enforcement's 24 hours a day. We have guys working shift work, and simply the reason we're having people leave us is not because they don't love Jones County or they don't love working at our law enforcement facility or bad management or anything, because we've got the best management around. I'd put them up against anybody else. I'm in charge of all the deputies on patrol division for Jones County, and I'm in charge of going through the new hires and applications and things like that now. The applications that you're getting, and it was like the commissioner said, the applications that we get, we go through a process and we interview them, and we go through the polygraph test and the drug test and psychologicals and things like that, and then they find out, oh, you're HR, I've got a family, I can't afford that insurance. That's getting a lot of our candidates going. And like I said, another reason is these guys are leaving now because they can make more money working at some other business Monday through Friday with holidays and things like that. And of course, we know when we sign on in law enforcement, we know there's holidays. I've been doing this for 24 years, so we know what we're signing on to. But it's just so enticing for the guys now to go work Monday through Friday to start out at $25 an hour somewhere else, and you don't have to worry about, like John Kyle, getting shot on the side of the road, or you don't have to. So I say all that, these guys are just seeing that there's more money to Monday through Friday. I think you're just probably gonna have to pay these guys. That's just what it's coming to. And I know we've got the pay scale, and I know that we're probably the top-notch paid law enforcement in Middle Georgia. But I'm just being honest with you commissioners and letting you know what I'm being told as they leave. They're telling me, hey, I can go to Macon and work for the Housing Authority Monday through Friday, starting out at $29 an hour. Or I can go over here and work at this, because everybody's hiring now. So that's what I'm hearing. Not complaining about anything at all. Love my job, love working here in Jones County. But as you did mention that, that's what the people are telling they're leaving for. And I'm verifying it, I'm like, hey, he is working over there. That's what's going on with law enforcement. Now, for as the public works and things of that area, I'm not sure. But for as the law enforcement issue, that's what they're leaving. They're leaving Monday through Friday, higher paying jobs. So, and that's a problem everywhere, not just Jones County. But that's just what I'm being told, and I just thought I would share that with y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you,
Can I
Kevin.
speak on this? Sorry.
Sure, absolutely.
Again, we're losing 3, and within 2 weeks going to a neighboring utility that's paying off just walking in the door, no license, no anything, at least minimum of $3 more an hour. Next week I'll have 1 person out of 7 maintenance guys I'm supposed to have. I'm gonna have one person. So me and that one able body are gonna be running the treatment plants or running all the collections, service taps, water meters. That's gonna be it. And I hear I know this neighboring is about to increase it again. So $3 an hour, even if it is a $3 an hour increase right now, it's about to go up again. Just food for thought. I know that for a fact. I know some very high up people in that industry. With that being said, I'd also like to speak on the incentives to better yourself and obtain licenses, and that would keep people. If somebody can go out and better themselves, get a certification, a license. I've been told, I've never seen anything in writing here, but that there is a pay increase if you were to go get a state certified license through Jones County. My question is, do y'all know anything about that? You know, what kind of a raise you get if they were to sit down? The one that is staying, he wants to learn, he wants the certification, he wants to better himself. And every other utility will pay for you for your education, and you will get an increase. Here currently, verbally there is, but there's nothing set in stone on that. So my question is,
There was a 10% increase when you were certified one time, but after the salary study that stopped, I don't know whether that's.
It's not still in effect. The board, we didn't do away with it, did we?
We had talked about it during the salary study, that after the increases that it would stop.
It's probably something we need to look at and reinstate, and I didn't realize that either, but I'm not saying we didn't, but we didn't realize it, but.
We can put that on the next meeting, next agenda, that way we can, address it.
And I'll say something,
Yeah,
Brandon. First of all, Brandon, you're right in the door, and we appreciate the level of patience, I guess you'd say, and competency that you've brought to this position so far. Our customer service complaints are down. Our non-payment water is down. Our leaks are down. We're getting faster response on stuff. All that with less people in the department than before you came. All that is unmatched. I mean, we can't say thank you enough for that. But we do recognize and need to recognize that in this situation with that many people gone, we've got to look at giving them some temporary help, whether it's contract help or whatever, to get through till we can get somebody, but also looking at that incentive. I think Commissioner Martin's probably been one of the biggest proponents of education and continuing education, and I think we've always supported that in our budget. And
Workplace development.
oh yeah,
Workforce
She's reached out to them and
They don't have anybody to give us.
You submit somebody, and then they'll.
No, I fill out the paperwork and I send it to them, and then they will let me know when they find somebody.
Okay.
And they are not able to find anybody.
All right, because I've been sending a lot of folks to workforce right now.
So we've also, every budget year we talk about the travel and training for departments, and we budget for that and we encourage that, and a lot of people don't take advantage of it. A lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. But absolutely, if you got somebody in your department that wants to go further and wants to learn, and we don't promote that, shame on us. So I just want to make sure that you knew that we did support that 100%, and hopefully we show that. But we definitely need to look at that, Chairman, about reinstating that cost with other incentives. But I just wanted to, specifically say thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
You want a motion to postpone for them to come back with some ideas?
Sure.
With insurance?
Is there any other department head? Bert, you want to?
I mean, I'll just say, just really to echo what everyone else has said, with low wages and high benefits, and you want people to work hard, it's just not a recipe for attracting
people who come in. I mean, if you're gonna have the salaries as low as they are for some of the entry-level positions, you know, in the past, you know, some places I've been, the benefits would be, like at Georgia College, for example, they offer some low wages, but they have good benefits, so people will come in really just because they're trying to get the benefits. So if one of the two areas, you know, can be improved, I think that we can see some higher numbers in our application pool. Any other department heads here tonight need to speak? All right. If we got a motion to postpone this to the next meeting. I'll need a motion to postpone. Excuse me, I can't make the motion.
Motion to postpone to the next meeting,
Trying to
Chairman.
bait you a little bit.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye? Aye, thank you. We'll move on, Ms. Brody, you've got some first readings for us tonight.
And we can do those together. They were all sent out today. The nuisance ordinances are complete overhauls of our current code. The noise ordinance revisions are a few new sections that we are adding in to our current current ordinances that are going to give us some sort of parameters, some way to define what may be a violation. And so I know you all have a copy of those. We have talked at length for many months of regarding those. Do you all have any questions, any concerns?
Sam, don't want to have it completely written?
Yeah, can you read it? You know,
I will read
front
it
to back,
word
back to
for
front.
word, if you so desire.
No, we've made changes. We've looked at it. I'm good with it.
Yes, we made some good changes. All right. With that, we've got a motion to adopt the first and second reading. What?
Quick question. When we had gone through the reports, it was, you had the nuisance and you had the solid waste because they mirror image. Did you drop the solid waste one?
We have the new solid waste ordinances as well. Yeah, there's two separate set of ordinances.
All right. Any other?
And I'll make sure you get a copy of those tomorrow.
All right, well, we get a motion to adopt the first reading of the noise and nuisance ordinance.
So moved, Chairman.
We got a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye? Ayes have it. We'll move on to old business tonight. What do we?
Commissioner Vaughn is.
Okay, Ms. Vaughn, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I just want to thank Ms. Brody for all of her hard work and the Blight Committee on helping us get all those ordinances in order. Just wanted to thank them right quick.
And the Blight Committee, most of their members are here,
Yes.
so they've heard you.
Yes, thank all y'all.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Don't forget our donuts when you come back, Wendy.
Be gone by then.
All right, we're going to move to own business tonight. Tax Commissioner Office renovation. Ms. Risner?
And is Brian back there? He's not back there. So, two items sort of left over from the discussion at the last meeting. One is, you'll recall, this is where we're getting some of the stuff from the Baldwin County renovation, and it'll be used to update the tax commissioner's office, the counter, and so forth. So the two items that we wanted to talk with you about and get formally placed in the minutes is one, the total amount, and then two, this project is beyond the bid threshold. So I think Brian's been working with the contractor, and the total amount is $71,000 and some change. Just say $72,000 total for everything, and so that's beyond the bid threshold. With the nature of the project, it's unusual in that it's taking, used furniture from another place, disassembling it, it's reusing some of it, Some of the counters and the frame of it would be reused. The frame would be reused. I think the countertop's new, and so it's sort of piecing together something there. And so it's kind of an unusual thing that would be difficult to develop a scope of work if you were trying to bid it out. And so the first thing there is the dollar amount, and then second is the waiving the bid requirement due to the nature of the purchase. This would be coming out of the 2015 SPLOST that we were talking about earlier, the original allocation amount, and not the excess funds there. So I've probably told you more than I know about all of it, but I'm happy to try to answer any questions y'all might have.
Any questions for Mr. Resner? Commissioner Martin, you got any questions?
I do. So there are no other people that do this scope of work. And the reason why I ask is if we're waiving it, if this is professional services, that's something different. But if this is, a business that other people have the capacity to do, I think we have to be good stewards and at least attempt to research it. That's a huge dollar amount. We're not talking, $25,000, $35,000, talking $70,000. So enlighten me a little bit, please.
So I think potentially other contractors could do the work. I think the issue you run into with trying to get competitive pricing is developing a good scope of work that somebody can submit apples to apples quotes off of.
So did somebody obviously have already done this, right? That's how we got to the $70,000?
No, the project hasn't been done yet.
Okay. I thought I heard 70,000. Maybe it's my phone and the weather. I'm not sure.
I think it's 71,000 and some change. If 72,000 would be just beyond what the actual amount is. That's based on the quote that the tax commissioner got from the contractor.
Right. So the tax commissioner got a quote from a contractor. So whatever he sent to that contractor, I'm suggesting that would be maybe at least the starting point for developing a good bid. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know what the tax commissioner does. I don't know, all of the ins and outs. But if somebody was able to give a quote, my point is that you could share that information with other contractors to do it. Again, I just want to be a good steward. If y'all want to waive it for this, so be it.
What's the thoughts on the board?
So we had a quote given on just, looking at the project.
Yeah.
I totally get it on the scope of work, because then it all falls on us to create the scope that they bid apples to apples. I kind of want to tend to agree with Commissioner Martin that, as good stewards of the money, we need to at least get another quote or get another contractor to look at it.
I agree with Commissioner. Go ahead. Let me interrupt.
No.
I agree with Commissioner Martin and Commissioner Kitchens. Somebody has taken the time to walk through the steps of what needs to be done and to be good stewards of the money. We're not talking about $31,000 or $3,000. We're talking about $71,000 and some change. I think to be a good steward of the money, we need to put it out for whoever may bid. He may not get anyone else, and you may get 5.
If y'all would like to put it in a motion to have this thing bid out, we can.
Do you want it to bid out, or do you think it is due to the nature of how to quantify what the project is, you would like for him to just get some additional quotes? You could waive the bid process due to the nature of the project itself.
Yeah, I think, I don't think, based on dollar amounts and what I'm seeing in the construction side right now, I don't think 30 days in a bid process is going to get you any more interest or any more competition than if you got a couple of quotes on it, just being honest. I mean, right now it's starting to be, getting ready to be summer and everybody's wide open on projects. People are not going to jump at a $72,000 project unless it's a smaller company, and I think quotes would be, it would satisfy me. Commissioner Martin may go differently.
And I'm just curious, are we dealing with a licensed contractor, or is just somebody that does
you know, I'm not certain.
I know, just maybe some questions we need to
Always
ask.
be told it needs to be somebody licensed.
Yeah.
We need more information.
Maybe just get a generic scope of work that we can give to 2 or 3 bidders, quotes, and get the same, so that they know it's in writing what they're bidding on or what they're quoting on.
And the qualifications, to meet to do that work, because it's, you can get apples, you're not gonna get apples to apples if you got somebody, I don't know, I've been in it too long. And I know what can happen. Well,
Just real quickly, Chairman, in the future, I think when we have scenarios, I don't know how we protect the quote or the person who quoted the project, because we've just given that price, right? So everybody knows it. I want to be fair to that individual as well, so we have to be careful about how we do this in the future, because I know we've done it a couple times, but I want to make sure that whomever is building, especially local, bidding on our projects or providing quotes that, the scope of work that they gave, and the integrity of the project is protected. So let's figure that out too.
In the future, you all could reference that it's just above the threshold that they're authorized to do on their own, and then you all decide,
right,
due to the nature of the scope or the time restraints, if you want to, bid it out or how you want to handle it before. I agree with him. I've always thought that was a problem. We start talking about numbers and then it puts the
Chairman, I would also recommend that we go with an evaluation process, and I can send you a 100-point process, and some projects may be weighted heavy on the price, some may be on the delivery method, some may be heavy on the timeline, depending on what our schedule is. So you weight that 40% for price one time, it might be 20, and the people that bid don't know what that weight is.
Right.
So when you get 90 out of 100 points, it's because you can do it on time, you got the price, and you got the experience.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Anything else on there?
so just have a motion to postpone.
motion to postpone the office renovation
Second.
decision.
Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Mr. Graham? Are you laughing at Wendy?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman. In the lieu of aging and mechanical failure of apparatus in our fleet, I would ask to make emergency purchase of 2 pumper tankers from Frouts Brothers in Milledgeville, Georgia. It'll be Kenworth chassis with 3,000 gallon of water, poly tanks, and 1250 pumps. They'll be considered as Class A pumpers.
Any questions for Mr. Graham?
And how would these be paid for? Out of
Existing splosh that's left over, and the what are we calling the
Excess collection.
excess collections.
How much is it?
Each pumper tanker is $317,000.
This may be a question for Jason. Since we did the preliminary excess splash funds discussion today, but we have not finalized anything, is it appropriate at this time to make a purchase with no final numbers and deviations of that?
I would probably suggest working through that list of things that were presented in that earlier meeting, or do this knowing that you're, using up over half of it. But yeah, it may be prudent to just hold off until you make a decision on the full list.
Timeline, what, if we postpone 2 weeks, what's that gonna do to it?
There's 2 more. I'm not sure whether they'll be there or not. I would have to hold those units. I would have to put money down or some sort of commitment, possibly signing a contract.
I just think being fair to all departments, we're going to come up with a priority type list, and we have not done that. It would not be fair to the other departments at this time.
Can we get 1?
So it's old business for a reason, because we talked about it at the last meeting, and we were gonna identify funds if we were gonna approve it. I don't think those funds were the excess SPOS funds that we just started at the meeting before this one. So I think we leave that additional SPOS revenue fund out of the equation, because I agree with Commissioner Wood. We just had a meeting and we agreed that we would wait and come back with a priority list and vote on that.
Right.
Voting on it now negates that priority list altogether, in my opinion. But we did also recognize at the last meeting that this was a priority, and I think Commissioner Martin brought that up at the beginning of the other meeting. So did we identify, I think we had 100 and some odd thousand in there to start with. Did we identify enough funds for one of them now?
So in Levita's conversation about where to find those additional funds beyond the 114, really your best bet to draw from is those excess SPOS funds. I mean, that's really the place to go to get them. I think if, that's the most available, and it meets the categories there, and so I think that's probably your best bet in terms of getting money to make up the difference between the 114 and the 317.
Let's give our Commissioner Vaughn thoughts or questions.
I think I'm like Sam. I would like to see everybody come back with a priority list on it.
Okay. Commissioner Martin?
I know I mentioned the priority list in the work session, but I was just reminded that, we were down, I think, the 3 trucks in the last meeting, and that's what made me motion to buy the other 2 trucks, because we were down those trucks. And before I got to ask Don this, do we have a fire station without a truck right now?
Yes, sir.
And for that reason, I'm inclined to motion that we make the emergency purchase, because that means if we're down a fire truck, that means there's a community that could possibly not get the proper service that we're supposed to provide. Now, if I'm in error on that, somebody let me know, because I don't want to play with houses and the protection of people's property and the protection of people.
Well, and legally, in case we need to have a motion to rescind, at the last meeting, the motion was approved to at least purchase 1 and then a second if the funds were found, correct?
All right, so we've got 1 on the way,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. They
And are
used it.
those funds coming out of the excess?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we've met the obligation that was approved last?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But the second one is what we're funds short on.
Yes.
Well, you want 2 in addition to the one that was approved
That's
last
correct.
time? Okay.
Right.
And then you got the 3 on order that were approved last year, I guess.
Last year.
What kind of time frame we out still waiting on them?
The latter part of July, possibly August.
So Commissioner Martin, is that are you brainstorming, or was that an actual motion?
I was getting ready.
Yeah, well, I was throwing it up because I wanted to clarify that we had a fire station without a truck, and now that is confirmed, I motion that we use the excess funds to purchase the 2 fire trucks due to the emergency situation that we're in.
All right, we've got a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Yeah. His motion was for 2 here, which we're not talking of the.
All right, let's get them second for our discussion. All right, it died for lack of second.
Now we can still have
Yeah,
discussion.
you can still talk.
So the question was the 317, we've got 1 on the way that will fit the fire station. Then we got 317, we got 114 in the bank. We need to make up 203 to get rough estimates. Make up 203 to get an additional truck voted on tonight on the way.
We just need the additional money.
Right, so the 203, we either bring it out of this, or we wait until 2 weeks from now and prioritize everything and vote on it at that time. I think our question was, you got two that are waiting that we need to make a move on.
Can you get one of them?
I would ask respectfully, at least one truck,
And what's the delivery time frame of that?
December. That's the soonest. If I was to go ahead and order one, it would take about 15 months.
Well, I'll give you my opinion, Chairman, that we committed at the last meeting that if we could find the funds, we would purchase the additional truck. We've got 114,000 towards it. We need 203. We've got additional money in the SPLOST. Unless somebody on this board don't feel like we will give him any trucks out of this additional money, because we're only giving him a half of one out of it at this vote.
Right.
So if we're not planning on giving him anything out of it, we'd be determining that by not doing anything now.
Right.
So with that, my motion would be that we take 203 out of this, knowing that was a priority in the first one, because we said police and fire, sheriff and fire are priorities in water, and so I'd be okay with that, finishing what we promised on the 203 out of the additional funding to make the purchase of that additional truck.
You got that? All right. We got a
That would
motion.
be a long motion, Chairman.
All right. We got a motion. We have a
I'll
second?
second.
Second? Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do you say?
Coughed.
Sorry, I coughed.
No opposed.
Okay, all right, make sure I didn't hear. All right, we got you warned.
Thank you. I'll be able to sleep
All right, thank you.
tonight. Thank you.
All right. Cameras for various locations.
So, Mr. Chairman, we've got a camera system in place here and at about 4 other county facilities. We are in need of expanding that to other county facilities, and we have gotten proposals from our current vendor on expanding that system. It's a good platform. It's worked well for us in the places we've got it now. And so in your packet there, we've got several different locations. It's a total of $97,000. And we would like to do this in 2 phases. In some of the locations, we don't have internet capability yet so that we could remotely access that system and view the cameras. So the initial phase would be the fitness center gym and EMA area, the Knox Center, and the Mattie Wells Community Center. Those are the places where we have the internet capability right now. The remainder of the locations will be done as Tri-County gets internet to those sites. So we would roll those out at that time. And I don't have an exact time frame on when that would be done. But in terms of the funding on this, Lavina and I talked about potentially using some of the 2015 SPLOST money in that buildings line item there. There's sufficient money there to do the data wiring that Will talked about, the tax commissioner office renovations, and this camera expansion. I think it's just something we need from a security standpoint, and I would ask for the board to approve spending the $97,000 there on the expansion of the camera system. Will may still be here for any comments that or questions that the board has.
Let me start with Commissioner Vaughn. Any questions?
None.
Commissioner Martin?
Just out of curiosity, have we had any vandalism in those areas up until this point?
Yes, we have, so that'll be the area that's been the greatest issue for us is the 49 Recreation Complex, and so we're working to get internet there, And we've had to spend a good amount of money to repair the concession building there. We've had damage to the roof, to doors. A bathroom has been destroyed a couple different times there. Some other buildings, we've had roof damage. And so that's a high priority for us as soon as we get the internet capability there.
So that's the ballpark, because the Matty Wells Gym has had internet service, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, did we notice damage before or after a tournament?
No.
It's just kids going out there,
They've caught the last two, haven't they?
yeah. I mean,
Okay, I was curious.
No, I
If
think
they
it's
had-
local mischief going on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Anyone else, questions?
I would like to add that I noticed that there was nothing in Haddock here. There is graffiti and some other issues there, and there is power and internet available at that location in the downtown Haddock Park. And I spoke with Bert about it, and so we just want to keep that.
Okay.
Yeah, we need something in the future just to kind of keep it safe there also.
Yeah, we can certainly take a look at that.
Okay, simple.
Commissioner Kitchens?
Yeah, I just gonna, they're compatible with the cameras that we're using now, but.
Yeah, it's the same exact system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, entertain a motion.
One last question, Jason, this was out of the existing 2015 SPOS, or
Yes, sir. The buildings category there.
not the priority additional?
Correct.
Okay. Motion to approve, Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, department head, we'll start, Ms. Tiffany, you want to start us off tonight?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Burt?
I just want to say, everything's been going well. Everyone's been very welcoming and helpful, except Mother Nature. We've had quite a few rainouts.
Bert, what's his name?
Bert.
Bert.
Burt.
So when people are at home watching,
They can't
can't
hear you.
hear you in the
They want to
back?
they want to see your pretty.
so I'm gonna go ahead and break you in to coming on up to the podium.
And she
'Cause
did
I
it very
start-
nicely,
Yeah.
too.
I start
Almost.
getting text messages about how they can't hear the
All right.
speaker.
Well, just wanted to thank everybody. This is my first appearance, I guess. Everybody throughout the community and the staff has been very welcoming and helpful. I did mention that Mother Nature, not so much. We've had quite a few rainouts, which has been a little inconvenient for our staff and the participants during our busiest time of the year. Looking forward to the continued ball season. We got a couple big golf tournaments coming up, the sheriff department on Monday, and just excited about seeing everybody else. But that's really all for now. Thank y'all.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bert.
Brandon, you've been up here a couple times. You got anything else?
I've said everything.
Good.
I'm good for today.
Finance, got anything tonight?
Yes, I do. I would like to let everyone know that the county administrator, he played an awesome part in us getting that bond rating. He was the spokesperson. Brendan and I were there, but Jason did an awesome job, and he deserves a lot of credit.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
It was a team effort.
Team effort.
Appreciate everything we need to do with that.
Don?
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all. I appreciate that a lot. Maybe we'll do something a little bit later on too. I hope maybe next year, this is something I've never done in the 13 years I've been here. And, but maybe we need a line item to replace vehicles in the future. Since the Splash has been in effect for that many years, I don't know if any vehicles ever been bought or purchased unless it was Splash. So maybe it's that time to look at what we have. And it may be when you're looking at employees and hiring new folks, maybe could be money could be one thing. It could be other things like not up-to-date equipment. It could be. Who knows? But I think we're all on the right track, and I appreciate y'all. And boss, you do a great job. Thank you.
Jason? You wanna get up and bow, or? You do a great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Evening. Brody? Wow. Miss Shannon? Citizen comment. Come on, you.
Tell my name, George Scoville. I just want to say, getting back to the wages and county employees, I talked to y'all, I brought this to your attention, I don't know, a year ago perhaps, when there was some controversy with some of the employees about holiday pay. And I'm going to stand here and I'm going to go to my grave knowing that I'm right about this thing, and they say I am too. A holiday has got to count as a day worked in Jones County. It's not fair, and y'all know it's not fair, for, let's take some of these ladies in these offices over here, let's take Thanksgiving week, okay? You're going to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're going to be off Thursday and Friday. They're going to get paid 40 hours, right? A county employee gets called out. He gets the same hours. He gets called out on a job, emergency job, tree on the line, something like that, whatever. On Saturday, he's going to have to work for nothing because the county, that's what these guys told me, they've already gotten paid, but yet they're having to work 48 hours where somebody else is working 40 hours and getting paid for 40. They're working 48 and getting paid for 40. You see what I'm saying? A holiday counts as a day worked. It's got to. That would help your morale as far as your employees, because I asked some of them working on a water line on my street here a while back. I said, did they ever correct that? They said, nope, we're still getting ripped off on holidays. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. That's not the way we do it, though. I think
that's the way they told me, and that's the way they were fussing about up here.
George, that's part of the problem is when you start a sentence with what I heard was that.
No, they brought that to y'all's attention last time. I'm just saying, if that's the case, it needs to be looked into to treat these guys fairly with the pay. Do you understand the process?
Oh, I completely understand the process. I don't think you do.
Thanksgiving is a good way to do it.
Yeah, we
example.
abide by state law here. And the state labor law says that you have to work 40 work hours, not given 8 hours, and you get overtime after the 8 hours you're given. We understand the process very clear.
Well, the employees don't then. That's what they said. That's what they said last year. They were getting ripped off on that. Hey, it was not fair for them to get out there and have to do a job on Saturday, Sam, and get 40 hours pay, but yet they're working 48 hours. I'm just telling you this.
I know, we don't agree with it.
To keep morale up among the employees.
And we need to work on the morale on the employees if we have those issues. But we can't arbitrarily change state law that says you can't pay somebody for working because you want to.
Well, do the employees understand? I'm just trying to be fair about the employees, because I know how that's the way as Caleb finds.
I appreciate that, and we do too. But I mean, I just felt like we were being told we didn't understand the process of how it
Well,
works.
according to them, y'all don't. That's because I flat asked when I'm working on a water line on my street here a while back, and they said, no, we still get ripped off on holidays. And I'm just throwing that in to tell you that would probably help your morale of your employees some if you treat them, if they got treated, which they're saying they're not getting treated fairly, and I say they're not if that's the case. Okay?
I think anyone else tonight? Ms. Vaughn, you got, talk to us. Tell us about your vacation in Panama City. You're first up tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, there's sunshine out here right now, and we did get a little rain today, so I've been watching everybody to make sure everybody's safe. I've talked to Don today to make sure everybody was safe in Jones County, so I'm glad that the weather has moved on past y'all right now. The red alert was going off like crazy on my phones down here, warning me that everything at home was not looking so well. So if you don't have the alert system that is free to those of you in Jones County for weather, it is a link on the Jones County government website. Just click on it, put your name and address and phone numbers on there, and it alerts you if anything's coming near you. It's a very, very good system. Ashley, once again, Blight Committee, once again, we are making strides to get those ordinances in there so that we can put some teeth into what we say we're going to do, and I appreciate y'all's hard work.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Commissioner Martin?
Again, I concur with what Wendy said. There's some good information that's out on our website, and that's one of the most beneficial. I'm at the house, and it was going off like crazy even before I think I heard the sirens. So I'm happy that the things that we put into place are working and meeting the needs of constituents to keep them safe. I'm proud of you guys tonight at least getting one of the trucks in, an additional truck in to cover the vacancy, because one of the greatest services that we can provide at this time is to protect and serve, and meeting the needs of our constituents in that area with a truck is important and critical to continued operations, safe operations in our county. I'm excited that we have some extra funds to do some good things with. While public safety is important, including the sheriff's office, we have some other needs that are critical as well. I think we can find a way to meet as many of those needs as we can, and then leverage the upcoming budget as the other opportunity for people to put in the budget what we actually need and trim away the fat so we can really address the things that are important. Again, I'm going to ask that we formalize our relationship with the Board of Ed to really create a pipeline to work for students. I guarantee you there's a senior that's going to graduate that would happily love to come join the county and potentially the sheriff's office at the wages that we currently offer. I do believe we still got some tweaking to do with our health care to make that more palatable. But I do believe creating that defined pipeline in the work process, strengthening work-based learning, and even leveraging workforce development to create real career opportunities for some of our students that are graduating that never want to leave this great county of Jones. So looking forward to that. Everybody continue to be safe, and thank you and all of our employees for all the hard work they do.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Wood?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, we addressed some issues. We know we got some deficiencies, and our homework is in front of us. We just got to address it and work hard at making this county better, because we want to keep our good employees. We have plenty of good employees, and we've got to make it where they want to stay, and that's our jobs. Also, some public events coming up in the next few weeks, in the next month, like Old Clinton and other places to explore in Jones County. I took this past Sunday and went through Gerald Plantation. It's been a number of years, and there's a lot of things that people can do right here at home and enjoy our great county.
Mr. Kidd?
Well, Chairman, before our last conversation, I had salaries and employees wrote down on my little note here to talk about that we do need to make sure that we have competitive salaries and that we are incentivizing people to stay here. But after hearing what George said, I think it's important that we make sure that reality is true reality and the difference between it and perceived reality. So even if employees feel like they're not getting or they're getting the short end of the stick, we need to make sure that we communicate with those employees so that we don't have people leaving because they feel like they weren't treated fairly or weren't treated right. I honestly 100% believe that this board has really worked hard to make sure that we have that employee-employer relationship. Mm-hmm. And I know in our hearts we look after the employees the best we can with still having stewards of the county's money. But if there are people that feel like they are not treated, I hope we have that open door policy so that we can figure that out and make sure that we're not doing what people think we're doing. Mm-hmm. So, because I know we're better than that. And I tend to get, well, I tend to not let things go unsaid if they're not right. Mm-hmm. And if we are honestly treating employees wrong, we need to fix that. Mm-hmm. But if we're not, and that's just a perceived by some people, we need to call that out too. So one other thing, Chairman, I want to bring up, I want to really promote the Knox Center renovations that are needed. You know, I don't know how many people know, but since before the pandemic, we've had the youth arts program there, and they have a lot of plays and stuff there. And I've taken my granddaughter to a couple of them, and they're really, really good, and they really put on a lot. But it really lets you know how bad a shape that place is in. I mean, they're doing everything from bringing their own microphones and their own sound folks, and the sound system has been upgraded some, but we really need some acoustics and some lights in there. And when we did the energy conservation program with Snyder Electric, that was a specialty item we kind of pulled out of that program that was countywide. I would really hope we can find some money to fix that place up so those kids can really promote the art program. So, that's all I got, Chairman.
Thank you. Well, this time, if I could get a motion to adjourn and go into executive session for real estate and litigation.
I make a motion to adjourn to go into executive session.
All right, we got a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.